Hey guys, it's Victoria from Enchanted Memories Travel, Victoria Fricke, and I wanted to go over the Disney dining plan with you and why it might or might not be a good fit for your family. I think it's an extremely important decision to make prior to your trip if you're going to be on the dining plan and which one. So let's go over what it is, why you might need it, what the pros are, what the cons are, and my tips and tricks to make sure that you get the most bang for your buck. So, what is the dining plan? It's pretty simple. It's a prepaid dining plan that covers all your food, some of your drinks, and snacks while you are at Disney World. Who can get the dining plan? Well, it's anyone that's staying on property at Disney, meaning you have a resort booked on Disney property and you are staying on Disney property and then you purchase your dining plan. The thing to note about the dining plan and staying on property is you must have everyone in your room get the dining plan. There are 4 people in my family, 2 adults, 2 kids. One of them's an infant. They don't need a dining plan. Under 3 are free on the dining plan. So they would just eat off of your parents' plate or you bring them snacks, whatever. But everyone 3 and up need a dining plan. So I couldn't just get a dining plan myself trying to save some money and the other people not get it. We all have to have one. So my little girl Lily, me, and my husband Justin, we'd all have to have one. So everyone has to have one. The maybe caveat to that is if you had maybe grandparents coming or your in-laws or your siblings, whatever, and you had a bigger group that was split between multiple hotel rooms. If, say, it was me going and then Justin's parents were in the room next door, we could get the dining plan. They wouldn't have to, even though we were still one big group because we were in different rooms. That would be sufficient, which then you could kind of share and we could buy some of their meals on our dining plan if we wanted to. So that's the kind of trick to get around that. If you were in a big group, you wouldn't all have to have it both rooms. Okay? So what is included in the dining plan? The first 2 things are included in any dining plan that you choose, so I want to make sure we hit those. And I am sorry that this is backwards. It's not a phone, it's my computer. I thought it would have switched. But you get a mug. The mug would normally cost you $18 for the stay of your trip. What's important to know about the mug is it's only refillable at your resort. It's refillable at any of the Disney World resorts, so if you were going to a different resort for dinner, you could easily use it at that resort, but it's in the cafeteria style section of your resort. Now, what I want to make sure I say about this mug is that I would go into the dining plan thinking you're not going to use it and that it's just a perk or a bonus that you get with the dining plan. So don't categorize your money as trying to figure out if it's going to be worth your while. Omit the mug. Because some of you are going to be staying at all-star resorts that are going to be very far from your cafeteria. Maybe you're staying at a moderate resort like Coronado, French Quarter, etc. that might be further away from your actual centered area where your dining is. If that's the case, you're probably going to a bus stop that's further away or in a different zone that you might not think is very easy or accessible to get to your quick service cafeteria location at your resort. If you're staying at a deluxe, you're absolutely going to be right by your location probably most of the time that you could go and get a drink. What's included with the mug? Coffee, tea, soft drinks. It's refillable as many times as you want throughout the entire stay of your trip. I used mine for coffee on our last trip, and I would say on average probably a coffee is about $3, just a regular black coffee. So that probably made its money back, but just go in it as a wash. If you get some drinks, awesome. If not, and you're too busy dealing with the kids and maybe you're just making coffee in your room or you just bought a pack of soda, just don't worry about it. It's a bonus, okay? Snacks are the other thing. What is a snack at Walt Disney World? Well, it's pretty much anything around the $5 mark. It could be less, it could be more, depending on what you're getting. So think things like a pretzel, like a soft pretzel, a ice cream bar, maybe some sort of slushie, a cupcake, things like that that would normally be snacks or the things that the kids are saying, I want this, I want that. That's what you would use your money on for your snacks. A nice snack that you could use is Starbucks. A lot of people are going to be getting Starbucks anyway. So any drink, even a venti quadruple shot caramel macchiato is going to be classified as a snack, even though that would be like an $8 drink. So every morning when you go get your coffee, when you get to the park, you can use a snack. You could also use it for some of the things that you could buy there, like a muffin or a Danish. Some bad uses of a snack credit, a bottle of water, that's $3. Don't use your snack credit on a bottle of water. Go ask for free water at a quick service location. A bag of chips that are $3. Don't use it on that, okay? Go in with the mentality that a snack is worth $5. If it's less than $3, just pay out of pocket. If you really want a bottle of water, just give them $3 cash, or just bring a nice mug with you and just refill water while you're at the park. Okay? So every dining plan is going to get 2 snacks per person per night of your trip. So in my family structure, with Lily, myself, and my husband on the dining plan, we each get 2 snacks per night, so there's 6. If we were doing a 3-night stay, we'd have 6, 12, 18 snacks between the 3 of us to use. Snacks are not per person per se. We have 18 snacks throughout our time at Disney. Our family has 18 snacks to use, okay? So it's not measured on my Magic Band. There's 6 snacks, on Lily's, on Justin. It's just, in general, we have a pool of snacks. As far as the mug, each person gets their own mug. So we had 3 mugs for our group. We would fill Lily's with water every single time and take it to the park. Justin would have iced coffee in his, and I would have hot coffee in mine. Do whatever you want with your family structure, but so you know, everyone can use those, which is nice. All right, so that's included in every single dining plan. Now, what are the dining plans? The biggest thing to really ask yourself is, what type of dining experiences are you and your family going to be utilizing to figure out if this is going to be worth it for you? So, quick service, just so you know, is a grab-and-go style meal. So you walk up to the counter, you grab your chicken nuggets, your salad, your burger, whatever it might be, and you take it back with you. Okay, so there's quick service, and then regular dining would constitute table services, as far as you sit down, you order from somebody that's serving you, and they bring it to you. So, quick service, you get a mug, 2 snacks, and then you get 2 quick service meals per person per night of your stay. 2 of them. Adult price $52.50, kid $21.74. So, on a 3-day trip, each person in your party that is on the dining plan would have 6 meals that are quick service style. Okay? The regular dining plan, you get 1 quick service and you get 1 sit-down meal. A sit-down meal will be just a normal, nice restaurant per se, or it can also be a table service with characters, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, because I think that's why you need to get the dining plan, is for the character meals. So, 1 sit-down meal, 1 quick service, a grab and go, 2 snacks and a mug. Adults $75.49, kids $25.75. Okay. Honestly, ignore the kid prices, because the kids pay for themselves pretty much day one. Okay. So I'll show you why that works in a minute. And then lastly, the deluxe dining. Deluxe dining is a great option if you're a big foodie. You love having good food. You want to explore all the food. Maybe you're not a ride person. Maybe you're there to go just explore and see the scenery and eat. Great. Do the deluxe. If not, it's a really great option if you're doing a shorter trip as far as nights. Maybe you get there super early in the morning, you leave super late at night, and you're only there for 2 nights, but really that's 4 days at the parks. Might be a good option for you. Or, like I said earlier, if you have your in-laws next door or your siblings, whatever, and you have a bigger group that you're splitting between rooms, this might be a good option for you as well, because one room has the dining plan and you could pay for both parties by using this. Why is this one nice? Because you get 3 meals per day. 2 quick service meals. 1 quick service, 1 sit down. Still 2 just meals a day. The deluxe dining, you get 3, and they can be any mix of sit down or quick service. Obviously, a sit down is going to be more expensive. So if you do this one, please plan on having 3 sit down meals per day, or make sure you're stretching it throughout your entire trip if you were sharing with another group. Okay? So the price on that, $116.25 and $39.99. So where do we find out if it's a good deal for us? Well, you do the math. Before our last trip, I did the math and I realized that I was going to be saving quite a bit of money, a couple $100, by being on the dining plan. I've gone on the dining plan and not on the dining plan. The first time without the dining plan, here's what I found. I was a little bit more stingy about saying yes to things that Lily wanted. So if my daughter wanted an ice cream bar, nah, it's $5. We don't need it, okay? And I'm usually a no mom anyway, so it's a lot easier for me to do that. But just so you know, parents, it's pretty hard to say no to things all the time when every other kid has them. So just keep that in the back of your mind. You might say yes more than you intend to at home. So I would say no to things more. We would split things more. And then I brought snacks from home and we did a grocery order, which you can do. You can have groceries delivered to your room. And so I had groceries in the room, so I packed lunches more. We brought a lot more snacks, which was convenient. Sometimes it wasn't convenient other times because I was getting up earlier to pack things for the day. When we got done with our trip, because I still wanted to do a lot of character dining, we had an $800 food bill pretty much with food and drink. That's not very fun to pay at the very end of an expensive trip already. So keep in the back of your mind, if you are choosing not to do the dining plan, that you will be paying out of pocket for your food when you're there, whatever amount that might be, and that it might sting a little bit on the way out when you pay your last bill at Disney. So when I did the math this time, asking myself what meals I wanted to do, what experiences I wanted to have with my family, I wrote down the prices of some of the meals. Okay, I got online, I found out how much it would cost to eat at X, Y, and Z restaurant, and then I decided that I would add up the price for the Disney dining plan, the regular one, and to see how far off or close I would be to making my money's worth or making that plan worth the value for me. Here's what I found. When I just listed the restaurants that I was going to be eating at that were sit-down meals, and just the restaurants that would be the quick service ones that I would be grabbing going, when I just did that for the three of us for our 4-night stay at Disney, I wound up being at an even, maybe even saving $20 or $30 price point of this $75.49 a day for Justin and I, and of the $25 for Lily. I was even. That's not including any of those 2 snacks that I was going to be given per person per night. Meaning, when I went on this last trip, I broke even just at the sit-down restaurants and at the quick service restaurants before I even touched snacks. So pretty much all of my snacks were free. The Starbucks that I was going to get anyway, the pretzel that I was going to get anyway, the Mickey ice cream bar that I was going to get talked into anyway, those things were all free and on Disney because I had paid my $75.49 per person per night, excuse me, for adults, and my $25.75 for Lily. Here's how I did that. I'm going to give you an example. This was our last day at Disney. I wrote down everything that I had, so you have price-wise. So, 1900 Park Fair is a great restaurant with a character meal. Cinderella, Prince Charming, the stepmother, and the stepsisters are at that dinner. So, it's $45 per adult, $27 per kid. Mind you, I spent $75 and $25 for Lily. You can see right here that Lily's $25 for her day was already made by just going to this dinner. That means that her quick service meal and her 2 snacks that day, completely free because we've already made our money on this, okay? So I spent $45 on my meal. Alcoholic beverages for the 2018 dining plan are included at almost all sit-down restaurants if they have beer, wine, some mixed drinks. It's included in your price. At some quick service meals, depending on where you're going, you are also able to get an alcoholic beverage, but not all places have them. So just know that when you're planning what trip you're gonna or where you're gonna eat. So I paid $45 for my meal. I got a beer, which was $8. That would not have been included had I been paying out of pocket with the $45 cost. Okay. For lunch, I went to Pecos Bill's that day, which is a Mexican quick service across from Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom. I got the fajita platter, which was $17. I actually split this with Lily, and there was some left over. It's a pretty big meal, which means that Lily didn't have to use her quick service meal that day. I was able to use it another time for breakfast. So $17 for that. I had a $6 Starbucks in the morning at the start of the day, and then Lily and I shared a Mickey pretzel, which was about $6. If I add all this up, it comes to $82. That's what I would have spent paying cash out of pocket for this exact day of meals and snacks. However, I spent $75.49 ahead of time. If I wanted to get real technical, that morning I also used my mug in the cafeteria because we were by it, so I got a coffee. I would average $3 for a coffee, so make this spending $85. So I really saved $10 that day for me alone by being on the dining plan. Justin got a pretty similar day, so his would also have been about $85. So right there between the two of us alone, we've saved $20. With Lily that day, you can see I said we already saved, what, $1.25 by just her first meal. I didn't have to use her her quick service, so let's say another $10 was banked for another day. Her 2 snacks, another $10. So right there, Lily, I made $20 on Lily. So between Lily's $20, my 10, Justin's 10. That's $40 that we saved on this day by having the meal plan. Is every day going to look like this? No, maybe it doesn't, okay? But this is an example of a legitimate day that I went. If we wanted to even get more technical, $60 for Akershus, another great sit down. It has 5 different princesses that rotate. I think when we went last time, we had Mary Poppins, Ariel, Snow White, Belle, and Aurora, I think. So you meet 5 princesses, $60 for the adult. This is this is the lunch price. So I just have $15 to make up. If I went to Pecos Bills again, boom, I've evened. My 2 snacks are free again, okay? So we need to figure out what meals you're going to be doing and how much they cost. So why would I do a character sit down? Let me make sure you understand why these are such a good deal at Disney. Time is money at Disney, and it gets hot and it rains. So some days you might only be able to last 5 hours at the park, okay? Some of you are going to be able to go from open at 8 a.m. till close at 11 o'clock at night, and you're going to be nonstop moving. That's great. I'm not that person. I have 2 little kids. I have to make sure I can get a nap, which means we're finding a shady spot and we're sitting down for 2 hours, killing time, whatever. So for us, instead of waiting in line 30, 40, 50 minutes to meet Cinderella or Snow White or Ariel, or wasting a fast pass to go meet them, we don't worry about meeting them in the park if we don't want to, because I'm going to be sitting in air conditioning, eating a meal, having a drink while they come to my table. Okay? We went to Chef Mickey's for breakfast. Well, instead of waiting in line to see Pluto, Minnie, Donald, Mickey, maybe Daisy, maybe those 5, Goofy, 5 or 6 characters, I sat down while they came to our table. We still got our photo, we still got to talk to them, we still got to hug and dance with them, and I didn't have to wait in line to meet 5 or 6 characters. That's a lot. So I would much rather spend the $40 and have them come to my table. Lily's just as happy. She doesn't know the difference. And we've wasted or saved a lot of time by not being in lines. So character meals are an amazing route to go. These are just a few of the places that you might like to go. There are plenty more with characters and different types of characters. And we'll sit down when we make your package and figure out which dining reservations you want to make sure you have and figure out the prices of them and if you would be saving money by being on that dining plan. Like I said, I've done both the dining plan and not, and I really wish that I had done the dining plan the time before. From now on, I will be a proponent of the dining plan. I will do it for my family because it makes sense, because we plan on doing a character meal for breakfast, lunch, or dinner each day. We want to see the princesses, especially in our family. When Landon gets a little older, I'm sure we'll want to do some other characters, more so Mickey, Goofy, etc. But for now, we like the princesses. We want to meet them, and it's a much better environment for us to do it sitting down while we're eating, which we have to do anyway, and getting those experiences. So I hope this breakdown kind of tells you a little bit about the dining plan and why it might be worth it. The biggest negative I've heard about the dining plan, which I have also experienced myself, is that it's too much food. So if you've heard it's too much food, you're probably right. It is a lot of food. Like I said, Lily and I can split meals really easily. They're really big portions. A burger's huge. We can split that. She could have a third of it. I can have 2/3, the sides, etc. So as far as the meals go, remember, since you're only getting 2 meals per day, if Lily didn't use hers, I used it for breakfast the next day. Okay? And so then we would nibble off that plate together. You do not have to use 2 per person per day. It's banked. So we each had 3 meals banked under each of us. And when I would go up to the counter, I would just get my meal. So it's all banked together just like your snacks are, so you don't have to use it per night. And especially if you're doing a trip that you get there super early in the morning. So my last trip, for example, we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We stayed 1, 2, 3, 4 nights. And then we didn't leave until late in the evening at like 11 o'clock at night. Meaning, even though I was getting 4 nights worth of food, we were there for 6 days. So think about that as far as your meals would be used on those 2 nights or 2 days that you're not like staying the night. So your meals can last a lot longer. The snacks, the last thing that I want to close with. Do not waste your snacks on low-valued items, and don't hold on to them so much that you have extras. I was a little stingy at the beginning of our trip when I could have maybe, instead of sharing a pretzel, we each gotten our own. Because of that, I had 4 extra snacks. And you'll see a lot of times people complain, oh, I was done with my trip and I had 20 extra snacks. I had 10 extra snacks. And then they go into a candy store and they let their kids buy like a sucker that would have cost $1. A Rice Krispie treat that's going to go stale in 2 days that costs $3, a little cookie, etc. That's a bad use of your snacks. So what I did is I looked for the best value snack that I could find that I could bring home as far as extras. I had 4 extra snacks. Moms, you have these in your pantry already. You have them in your diaper bag, you have them in your purse, you have them in the car, wherever. These things you already have, okay? Trail mix, your kids love them. So in any gift shop you can buy these. They're $5.75. I had 4 extra, so I bought 4. You can see we ate them on the plane, okay? Don't waste your snack credits if you have extras on silly things. If you have extras, which you might, because it's a lot of food to eat, buy something smart that you can take home. You can still give this as a little gift to somebody. Hey, I found this for you. Or you can just keep them in your pantry because you were probably going to buy them at Kroger anyway. So I hope those tips, tricks, and suggestions help you when you are deciding if the dining plan is right for you. If you have not yet liked and followed my Facebook page, it's Enchanted Memories Travel, Victoria Fricke. I would love that you do. I'll post other tips and tricks like this, and I will make sure that if you are a client of mine, we sit down and we make sure that we look at the numbers and we balance it out and decide if the dining plan is right for you. I personally think the middle one is probably your best option for a family. And like I said, if you were going with a bigger group that you're splitting up, or if you really like to eat and you really want to do character sit-downs, then I would suggest maybe that one is also an option. So let me know how I can help you plan your trip. Let me know how I can help you make sure that your dining experience are exactly what you want. And I hope you have a great time planning your trip, and I hope that it's with me. So have a magical day, of course, pun intended.